After the Portland City Council voted to halt development of a new music venue downtown, stakeholders behind what would have been the Portland Music Hall are now considering legal action. City of Portland staff say they received a letter requesting that they preserve all documents related to the proposed music hall project. A group called Portland Music Holdings says it's also exploring legal action. The group believes it was legally entitled to build the venue, arguing the project complied with all zoning rules and city ordinances. The group also says the venue would have been a cultural boon for the city, but claims the effort was largely halted by activists and local musicians who felt it could undermine Portland's music scene. Portland Music Holdings says pursuing legal action is about preserving the integrity of the city's planning process. In March, while a moratorium was in place against the proposed venue, we spoke with City Councilor Wesley Pelletier. This was before the City Council approved a 750-foot buffer between large music venues. At the time, Pelletier raised concerns about potential congestion in the area.
Already, Merrill Auditorium is, during a show, gridlock traffic. For a half hour, an hour around showtime. Add another 3,000 people in, it's going to be an absolute nightmare, and it's going to be unsafe.
At the same time, New Center Maine spoke with Mayor Mark Dion, who said he believes the decision should be left to consumers, adding that in his opinion, Live Nation met all necessary city standards.
My role, I believe, is to make sure the applicant, in this case Live Nation, satisfies all the standards we have placed for that type of building. That's it. I don't get to choose that McDonald's is better than Burger King and Burger King is better than Wendy's.
Portland Music Holdings also says Live Nation is no longer involved in the project, saying it has purchased Live Nation's interest and is now moving forward independently. The city of Portland offered no comment on the possibility of any litigation. It's been 2 weeks now since the deadly fire and explosion at Robbins Lumber in Searsmont, but the impacts are still fresh for many, especially the hundreds of first responders at that scene. News Center Maine's Drew Peters shows us how they're coping now.
While none of their crew was seriously injured, leaders here at the Liberty Volunteer Fire Department say there are still many emotional and physical scars that haven't begun to heal.
That used to be total white.
Bill Gillespie has seen a lot over the 3 decades he's been a firefighter.
You can see my reflectors are starting to melt off.
But he says there's been nothing like the response to the fire that raged through Robbins Lumber Mill.
Call was a difficult call, and everybody that could get there got there.
Everybody, from Foley staff stations like Belfast and Lincolnville to volunteer stations like Searsmont and Gillespie's crew, all answering the call.
I knew those people, and I still know those people. And, yes, it is a driver. I got to get there as quick as I can because they're in trouble.
Hours of battling a growing blaze while trying to ensure his friends were evacuated to treatment via ambulance.
It's a Lifeline helicopter.
And Lifeline.
It would take 2 hours to drive from Searsmont to Portland. And that flight is much quicker, obviously, in a helicopter where we can fly in a straight line.
Precious time saved that Lifelight COO Bill Sear says allowed dozens of staff to transport victims to more advanced medical centers with burn units.
Providing care that they would normally receive in an intensive care unit or an emergency department in one of our local hospitals, and we continue that care on the way to the other tertiary care center that they're going to.
A response that's taken a toll on Sear and Gillespie's crews.
We deal with things that people are not meant to deal with. So, it may not affect you today, but 3 years down the line, it may come creeping back as a memory.
Scars that both leaders are working to help heal through free counseling services.
Remove all the barriers that may be in place in order to try to get in with a mental health counselor or a clinician, from insurance to just scheduling.
First responders recovering together.
We'll continue to support each other, and that's what we do.
Firefighters here at the Liberty Volunteer Fire Department say they're collecting donations that will be evenly distributed to the families and victims who were impacted by the fire in Searsmont. In Liberty, Drew Peters, News Center Maine.
And according to a statement from the Robbins family, mill owners Alden and Jim Robbins both continue receiving care at Massachusetts General Hospital in Boston. Turning now to an update on a story we first brought you last night about a child who was critically injured in a lawn tractor incident. The Penobscot County Sheriff's Office said in a post that they got report of the incident on private property in Kenduskeag around 6 p.m. yesterday. Today, they shared that the child, a 3-year-old boy, was accidentally run over by the lawn tractor, and his injuries are considered life-threatening. They say that he is now receiving treatment at a hospital in the Boston area, and they say he is still in critical condition. The sheriff's office asked for the public to be respectful of the privacy of those involved.